Welcome, everyone, back to the DevOps Roundup podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about what are the effects and implications of using AI in your team, in your company, in your personal life. We're going to get a little Skynetty. I wish I had an aluminum hat to put on myself because some of these might be a little borderline conspiracy theories, but we'll see how we go. Sean, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Alex. So yeah, last time we were talking about what does it look like post AI adoption, and
So the world is on AI. What happens next?
So we're getting closer and closer to that. It's amazing how much AI is invading everything. I work in a closed environment most of the time during my normal work hours, and I was surprised that they already had an AI solution for people in a isolated environment, and I was actually pretty impressed with it.
Very surprised too.
I was impressed with it. I actually asked it some questions on some API usage that I didn't want to have to roll across the room to go into a internet connected computer to Google that. But the AI solution was able to answer it close enough for me to figure it out and get what I needed to do done. So I was impressed, and I was impressed that it existed, and I was impressed that it actually worked.
Unlike other competitors' AI solutions.
Yeah.
But as you can see, AI is really becoming omnipresent, right? It's going to be in everything that we do. Just this week, my son started really overly relying on voice Gemini to ask it questions. And the interesting thing, he started asking it like, I need to make a decision on where do I want to eat for dinner. Like, help me decide. Like, these are my options.
Was one of the options eat whatever mom prepares?
No, but pizza was on the list.
Oh.
But I think just to drive the point home, right, is just like, it's everywhere. Like, it's kind of hard not to start using in all aspects of your life. It's not just your professional or just one specific part of your life. It's everywhere, and it's growing at a very, very rapid pace, and it's revolutionizing. Yeah, almost too fast. But one aspect that I wanted to kind of double down with you is AI-based browsers, and there's a couple of them out there. ChatGPT just announced theirs recently. I don't know if you caught that one in the news.
I have not caught that in the news.
Yeah.
However, I have had my head buried in a different area for the last week. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
I've really been thinking computers. I've been thinking cars.
Well, the fine folks over at the Jippity plant, they announced a browser. Let me see if I can pull that up real quickly.
So I had not even knew AI browser was a thing prior to Atlas.
Atlas is the name of ChatGPT's new browser.
Yeah, that is an overused name. It makes
but
sense.
You were saying you have heard of another AI-based browser.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was a thing until Atlassian purchased the browser company, which I thought was a pretty pretentious name. That a company would call themselves the browser company, and they had a browser no one knew about. And then Atlassian paid a couple, was it 20-something billion or something? It was ridiculous.
I thought it was lower. I didn't think it would be like half their net worth.
Yeah.
Atlassian buys the browser company $610 million in cash.
610 in cash. Yeah.
Still a lot of money. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah. Still a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But we, on the other podcast that I have where we talk about all things Atlassian, we talked about the benefits, the future, just to kind of spoil it, just to kind of bring everybody up on this audience here. My suspicion of why browsers are important, it's basically based off of Chrome OS, right? Mm-hmm. So Google makes the Chrome web browser. Then they made Chrome OS, which basically is the web browser running your computer, right? Sure. It's sitting right on top of the hardware.
Mhm.
and it's doing the input outputs to the physical components of your computer.
Yeah.
And you're not relying on Windows, so you're not relying on Microsoft for rules, and you're
Mhm.
not relying on Apple for their rules, right?
Yeah.
You get to control, and so
You're bypassing the whole, third-party operating system. You're
yeah,
basically just Chrome.
right. And did you hear how Apple? Apple single-handedly like destroyed like 50% of Facebook's value one day.
Enlighten me. I do not remember that.
So I don't want to quote specifics, but a few years ago, Apple came out with this new like do not track mode in Safari, another browser.
I remember that
Right.
now. Yes.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, all Facebook pixels and everything that Facebook relies on, because it didn't just impact the browser, but it impacted their mobile app.
Yeah.
Right. Because
It
every mobile app,
impacted their advertising arm,
yeah,
which is where
basically they lost.
it.
Yeah. And that's because you're at the mercy of the person that owns the platform. In this case, Apple owns the iOS, and they happen to own Safari and the OS for Mac on 50% of all worldwide computers and mobile power, right? And so I think what I suspect the play here is, let's get a browser, let's make our own browser, because eventually our browser can get down to the kernel and we can ship devices that we control. Right. And you're no longer dependent on the rules that Apple may set up about privacy or not. And you're no longer at the rules that Google may set up for privacy or not. You're no longer at the rules that Microsoft may set up for privacy or not.
That makes sense. That I'm not sure that's why Atlassian bought a browser company, but it does.
I don't think so, but it makes sense that if they want Jira, again, I do want to focus the topic on AI, but just real quickly on the Atlassian front, right? If they wanted Jira to be omnipresent, or Rovo, as did you catch Team 25 Europe's tagline? Rovo is everywhere.
Yeah.
So how do you get a spy to get installed on somebody else's platform? Well, you don't.
You don't. You take over the platform. Yeah.
You take over the platform. I think that's the move. I think that's what Atlassian is doing here. My suspicion.
Yeah. My initial suspicion, which I think is 100% a tinfoil hat a suspicion, was someone paid Atlassian to get rid of the browser company, and because look at a lot of the acquisitions they've had over the last 5-10 years, or maybe not 10 years, have gone into nowhere or became vaporware or shelf.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is a bigger tinfoil hat than I might.
It's like Google didn't like another browser out there, and they couldn't take them down directly, so they indirectly took them down via Atlassian.
You know what? The timing of that all makes a lot of sense, because you announced a GCP partnership with Google first, and then this comes out like a few months later. So man, we need to print out Dodo tinfoil hats.
Yeah. Well, I think this conspiracy theory could have legs, but I don't think that's the real reason. But that was the first thing that I thought of. It's like, why the hell they're getting rid of all their on-prem products? Why are they now going with a browser that has to be run on-prem?
Well, but let's talk about the impacts of this, because a browser, out of all the things open on my computer, a browser was open 99.99999% of the time.
Yeah.
I never close my browser. In fact, I take pride in the number of tabs that I have open on my computer.
Well, we're recording this through browser tabs right now.
Right. So technology has shifted quite a bit, and so you become over reliant on browsers, right? It's a very powerful vessel to get information. And here's my AI spin on why this is dangerous, why this is a bad thing. And to be very truthful, I like to watch a guy who that's the guy I got Jippity from. And so you know how I like to say Jippity? Well, I watch this other YouTuber, I forget his name right now, but
so you didn't come up with this.
I'm not that smart.
I thought this was an Alexism.
No. Although I will tell you that if I ever buy Atlassian, I'm definitely going with the Alexian, or what do they call it?
Or whatever it was, yeah.
That'll be mine. But anyways, so this guy was talking about the dangers of AI being omnipresent, specifically with your browser. Because right now, when you want to interact with AI, how do you interact with AI?
I type. I do not use the voice stuff. But I have colleagues that rely on the voice.
but you're going somewhere very specific. I'm fishing for some answers, Trishan. Where do you go when you want to invoke AI?
I typically just go to ChatGPT.
So, but you see how you're physically going to the destination, and you are now entering an exchange, a transaction between you and your AI models. And this is how we're doing it today. But
I'm logging into an account on one of the AI tools. Typically, it's ChatGPT, but depending on what I'm doing, it could be any number of AI solutions.
But when AI is built into the browser, the AI comes to you, not the other way around. Yeah. So as you can see from what's been playing here, it's omnipresent times 10. Because at this point, the way the browsers work, and this is, Dia or even this Atlas one from ChatGPT, it is context aware of everything on your screen.
Yeah.
So what you see, it sees on demand live when you're seeing it.
Yeah, I could see that being bad. Yeah.
Right? It gets worse. So again, so let's talk about this for a second. This is why I'm really worried, right? This is what freaks me out over what's going on here. Not only can it...
So ReleaseTEAM, DevOps tool specialists. We provide professional services and software reselling around the leading software DevOps tools like Atlassian, GitLab, GitHub, JFrog, and others. To talk with us about DevOps, here's our contact information. Please call 866-887-0489 or via email at info@releaseteam.com.
Not only can it read, but look at that, takes action for you. You saw that?
I think I see it.
No, but you saw the text that came up there.
I saw that. Yeah,
it can see things, which is cool. It's convenient. Yeah. What is this? What is this thing? What is this? How much does this cost? Like, how can what? You can ask it questions about things on the screen, but the taking action is the scary part, because if you can see here, it's actually buying something on your behalf.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
So you have your credit card. You have a lot of information on your browsers today. Yeah. Right? I have like Apple Pay, Google Pay is built into my browser. But have you heard of prompt injection before?
Yeah.
I had it.
No.
That's scary.
That's it's
So let's define prompt injection. So prompt injection is basically where you take your prompt and the prompt that you normally type in, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when you type in your prompt, you're kind of in control because you're typing in the words and you're feeding it to ChatGPT or Claude or whoever you're using, and then it's gonna come an output. But when you're here and you're telling it, look at this part of the screen and tell me what it means. If you're looking at an image, what's possible for you to hide text on said image that is naked to the naked eye, invisible to a naked eye. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So you can inject a fake prompt into your prompt thinking, hey, what is this image all about? And it's actually ordering 10,000 copies of this great book right here.
It's ordering all these Domino's pizzas to go to the local high school or something.
All of a sudden, you're going to see a spike in the DevOps Overture book sales take off 100x. You know what happened.
Oh, what? We're plugging stuff now? All right.
Of course. Pick up your copy, link in the description below. Don't wait for AI to do it for you.
Well, the prompt injection is not new to AI. It's been something that has existed since we've had prompts. I remember working as a SA for a QA department back in the early 90s, where they were creating prompt injection tools to be able to automate the QA testing of this video conferencing system. So it's been around for a long time. I kind of assumed that AI would always be able to do that. But if you, if someone's hiding malicious stuff underneath a graphic, or, it's such a small font that humans will never see it, but the AI tool will, that's.
But this is why
something I would hope.
But the browser part is more scary, because right now, as it stands, before you use the AI-based browsers, you are in control. So you get to choose whether you upload a malicious PDF or not. But this way, the maliciousness can exist on any website anywhere in the world.
Yeah. It makes it easier for the bad actors to manipulate AI.
Yeah, which is one of my big concerns too, going back to Atlassian, right? Because Atlassian's premise is like, well, it makes your productivity better because it's doing things for you. But we're losing our common sense. Like my kid, to make a decision as simple as what do you want to eat for dinner, or over reliance on the AI is causing you to like lower your shields of uncertainty.
No, I get the point on that, but I think there's multiple problems with your kid asking AI what to eat for dinner.
This is just the beginning. The next generation is going to be.
When I was a child, that was a question you did not ask. You ate what was put down in front of you. If you came home and said, "Hey, what's for dinner tonight?" Oh, you got a whooping.
Things have changed in the last 20 years, Sean.
Well, it's a little more than 20.
But yeah, no, I just think I think as companies and employees and people all around the world become over reliant on AI. Yeah. And have you ever seen The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett?
No, I have not seen that. So
there's this half British guy who's now I think he's moving slowly to LA. So I'm confused as to he operates all over the world, but I think he's setting up a base in LA now. So I don't know if he's gonna be. Well, I guess he's still British, but he's gonna be more of an Angelino than a Londonino. But anyways, this guy has a thing called Flight School, which is like his new media arm of business, and he had his team, or he was listening to some research. He interviews a lot of high profile people in all aspects of the world. And one of the things that they were looking at a study is of your brain activity. They had like 50 participants write a paper. Like, remember in high school you had to write papers, book reports?
I recall, yeah.
So they had a segment of people write a book report by reading the book and then using ChatGPT. Reading the book and then writing the book report like you did back in the day when we didn't have internet. Yeah, but no AI, no internet. Just read the book, write the paper like we used to before Cliff Notes, right? Yeah. Then they had a group of people read the book, but they were able to use Google search.
Okay.
And then they had a group of people that just used straight GPT to help them write the book. And the number of attention that they had was like it decreased exponentially, like inverse exponent, right? Because whoever wrote it that had written it, read it and wrote it had the highest retention, had the highest critical thinking. But people that just relied on AI to give them the answer had the smallest retention.
Did they even read the book?
Right. They didn't have to. And so again, when you start getting so comfortable with AI, and then we have prompt injections, like nobody's going to be safe out there.
Yeah. Well, I think AI is moving a little too fast. Like I said, we started with almost too fast. But I still have a lot of employees that are very reluctant to use AI, or at least admit to using AI, or calling others out when they think they used AI. And I have to explain to everyone, it's not, you shouldn't feel ashamed of using AI, but you should double check everything that comes out of AI. But if if you need to get something done and you can do it in half the time by using AI, by all means, I want my employees to be as productive as possible. So we shouldn't be shaming each other for using AI. But to go back to your example, if it's a book report, I very much want you to read the friggin' book. I don't want you to just go to AI and say, because that's, we've had these things before. Cliff Notes have existed for, decades. You just go to the Cliff Notes and borrow from them to do your book report. But at least you were reading the Cliff Notes. You weren't just going directly to AI.
But that's what I'm telling you. Like, I think our over reliance on AI is going to make us put our guards down. And so when it comes time to, I think most people are not going to act maliciously. But the few people that are going to ruin it for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I think that enough people will use it poorly or for evil purposes, that it is going to be a drastic effect will happen because of AI. I think there's enough of us are lazy enough that we will AI will become a crutch. And
but it's going to be interesting. Like, I think there might be a benefit to the late bloomers and adopters of AI that won't get burned by AI. Like, have you ever procrastinated in IT? Like, this is my favorite thing about being in IT, right? You procrastinate so much that the problem just goes away.
Yes.
I think there's going to be a demographic of people that just never jumped on the bandwagon of AI, that by the time they finally figured out, like, everybody would have gotten burnt. Like, AI is banned across the world.
Yeah.
Like, Skynet came and left.
Yeah.
But it's
the good thing about us is if the Skynet happens, the robots are not at the point that they can truly, kill us all yet.
You clearly missed Elon's annual shareholder meeting this week, didn't you?
I don't think his robot is enough to start killing us all.
It can dance on stage.
I don't know how many people have died from a dance-off.
But Tesla's, and sorry to the one guy that hates that I bring up Tesla every episode. But Tesla is truly working on some revolutionary AI-related things, right? Like, they're making AI-specific chips. And so that was another interesting thing. So in this shift to AI, the power consumption of stuff is dramatically increasing, but dramatically decreasing at the same time, because it's forcing us to come up with better and newer ways of generating power.
Yeah. Well, you did hear that they're possibly turning 4 Mile Island back on, but only for a data center. It's like an entire, retired nuclear facility is being powered back on for one data center.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. Like, I think warfare will change too, right? Because you'll stop targeting military bases and you'll start targeting more data centers. You start taking people's AIs out. How are the military going to respond? What's our next move?
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of war has already changed, and a lot of people aren't aware of it, and that's just by foreign powers influencing political parties in other countries and just causing chaos. And I think that's how wars are going to be won.
Are you a fan of Lucky Palmer?
Who?
Lucky Palmer? Never heard of him?
No, you keep dropping these references as if I'm a young guy.
Lucky Palmer is an alumni of mine.
Okay.
Cal State Long Beach. He invented a little device that you put on your head and you go into this virtual reality world called an Oculus.
Oh, okay. No, I did not. I have an Oculus. I hardly ever use it. It got used a lot the year that I gave them out to everybody in the company.
Why wasn't I working at ReleaseTEAM that year?
What was that, like 4 years ago?
Wait, what kind of Christmas gifts do you give out? Should I become? I have an RT email now.
I haven't been as generous as I have been since just after the pandemic. But yeah, usually I give everyone a Christmas gift.
Oh, look at you. So check this out. So Lucky Palmer, I'm gonna put it on the screen here. He likes to think himself as a pioneer in virtual reality. And so he's come up with this helmet that basically, using these goggles, it is fully modular.
Okay.
And that means you can swap out different things, but the technology here allows you to see through walls. The devices are interconnected. So, for example, if I'm not saying anything prior, because if an F-20
skeptical, how is he seeing through walls?
I'm about to explain to you. So, if an F-22 is flying overhead and it's got visuals on bogies, then what it sees, right? Like, they're interconnected, right? Very similar to popular communication protocols that the government uses, right? And so this is kind of an interesting concept where, like, it helps build a 3D spatial image, and it can see, and using AI can predict where people are going to be as well.
Okay.
it's
So it's
kind of an
not
interesting
truly
concept.
seeing through walls, but it makes it seem like you are.
It
Because
stitches things together. See, so you see two people here, but what's really cool is it's very much like games. It'll color code the good guys versus the bad guys.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, but it's fully modular. So you can put different kinds of sensors. There's also like a battery pack chest that powers it, but it also acts as a bulletproof chest for you. So it's like he's thinking about a lot of stuff. But one of the interesting concepts that he described here, and we're really a little bit off the rails here, but
It's okay.
he's basically saying like China, not to turn this into a geopolitical podcast, but China's targeting our car manufacturing vendors because during war, at least all the wars we've been in, the older ones, car manufacturers were able to turn around, pivot, and start manufacturing war machines.
Weapons of war. Yeah.
Right. But if your car manufacturers don't exist, then what manufacturing does the United States have left?
Yeah, we don't.
And so
We're
every
company now. Country now. Yeah.
So he has a company after he took his billions from Facebook. So Facebook bought them, right, and made the Oculus. He went and started this company called Anduril. They're based here out of Costa Mesa. There's the sample, the thing that I was just showing you. So he's the CEO and the founder of this stuff, and he makes these really advanced weapons. But every single weapon that they manufacture uses parts and constraints that can be manufactured in any automotive manufacturing facility in the United States. Just in case we ever have to get to that, it's already pre-configured, so any car company can get off the shelf parts and build this stuff.
However, there's a lot of our cars that are built in Mexico and Canada.
Well, that's where we get into these interesting geopolitical.
We need to maintain allies with them if there was ever a war. So
maybe not put all these tariffs on them.
Yeah, exactly. We should stop pissing off our neighbors to the south and north.
But the general idea, though, right, is I think AI is going to help a lot of people from a productivity perspective, but I think it's going to unleash a whole new level of chaos that I just don't think we're ready for.
Well, we're not, but we have never been ready for any of the major technological leaps that we've had. We were not ready for the automobile. We were not ready for computers. We were not ready for email. Or we were not ready for the web, but we did it anyway. And it was obvious that we're too far down the AI road to go back. And it's going to happen, and we're all going to hate it. And in fact, I had a conversation earlier with my mom, who, she's almost 80 now, and absolutely hates dealing with computers. And now it's even worse. She has a problem with her iPhone, which I warned her, don't get an iPhone because I will refuse to help you with your iPhone because of my anti-Apple stance.
From the 1970s, you had one incident.
Yeah, I can hold a grudge. But
your grudge.
But yeah, her story was she was trying to figure out why her phone no longer rings, and she tried to get help from Verizon where she got her phone, but she can't talk to anyone other than an AI assistant.
Oh my gosh, do I hate that?
It's impossible, and the AI assistant just keeps going into a loop, and because she doesn't know how to answer its questions. And she's, it asks what, I'm here to help. I'm the AI, whatever the Verizon AI is called. I can't remember what it's called. What's your problem? And she would type in, my phone's not ringing. And then it gives her some very basic, stupid things to try. And then she goes, no, that didn't work. And it just gets in this loop, and she gets frustrated and, slams things down. And so I'm like, you just have to physically go to the Verizon store and have someone deal with it for you. I'm not flying to Phoenix to troubleshoot an iPhone.
And that's going to be I think, a future state of this whole AI stuff, right? It's like, I think there's going to be such a mistrust in society that until you can physically, tangibly touch something or someone, you're not going to believe it anymore.
Yeah. So, well,
At least until the robots take over. But then one day we're just going to be on the big red chairs on Up or Wally and hang out there.
Wally. Up was balloons on a house.
Balloons on a house. No, Wally. We'll just be hanging out with the fine folks over at Wally.
Yeah, I definitely see AI leading us that direction. Whether governments will allow us to go that direction or not is, because they seem to want us to make us work until we're 70. But if work is hanging out in an automated lounge chair that hovers around,
we'll work to 100.
Yeah, I'll work to 100 for that. Yeah. And what is it the George Jetson thing where he pushes one button on his desk and he goes, "Oh my God, this is a terrible work day. I had to push the button once." That might be a reference that's too old for you. But.
I remember watching the Jetsons when I was like 5, but I haven't seen them since I was 5. Well, folks, that's what we think. Again, we'll just take off our aluminum hats now. Off.
No more conspiracy for the rest of the show, but we'll end it here.
But all to say, it's a very uncertain world, and I think we're going to enter a lot more uncertainty. The only thing that you can be certain of is that it's moving fast. And to quote Bill Gates and Paul Allen, this is going to happen with or without you.
Yeah,
so
this is going to happen.
Either jump on board or you don't. You either stay ahead of the curve and get ahead of the prompt injections, get ahead of being able to protect yourself, being able to think critically, and being able to use these technologies to further your career, further your life, or you fall to the wayside and you'll be complaining with Verizon's tech support for an hour.
Yeah. Well, we should end it here, but I'm not going to. One other thought is, this is from a U.S. perspective. What do we think the AI revolution is happening in other countries? It's like if we
maybe hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and we'll talk about that in the next episode.
We'll talk about that the next one. Yeah. So when we all move to Costa Rica, is the AI going to follow us?
We'll see. I think we should look at AI from non-US perspectives and bases. We should probably ask AI.
We should probably bring some people on. Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting, right? Because we do hear about TikTok's algorithms being different, and like they render differently in China versus in the US, where from what I've heard, a lot of TikTok's algorithms in the US are designed to distract us, while TikTok, the same application in China, is designed to nurture and educate people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would imagine that different companies are going to use this technology differently. Some companies might bar it all together, which I think will be a mistake.
Yeah,
I think companies, people, anyone who chooses to ignore AI are going to pay a significant price.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And ones that fully embrace it will also pay a price. You need to land somewhere in the sweet spot.
I don't think there's going to be a sweet spot, because that was one of the things, like going back to like the defense world, right? I always found it interesting where if you don't embrace the internet or technology, then how do you protect yourself from it? Because the bad guy is definitely not holding back, right? The bad guy is going to be using everything available to their arsenal to take advantage and do whatever they need to do. But if you, out of overabundance of caution, hinder the innovation, then you're just waiting to be attacked.
I would 100% agree with you if any of the adversaries or the typical adversaries that we've had over the years were competent.
But
so the overabundance of how would you just say it? Of caution, has worked in our favor, because all our adversaries, I'm talking the U.S. adversaries,
right? Yeah,
have been so far behind that it didn't matter. I don't think that's the case anymore.
It reminds me of that Iron Man 2, right, where Hammer Technologies comes over and he's showing everybody building their own Iron Man suit, and he's like, Hammer Tech, 50, 100 years out. But yeah, I kind of get the point. You're basically, you haven't had to put your guard up because there's nothing to guard up against because everybody's so far behind. But AI levels the playing field.
I think it does. I not only does it level the playing field, I think a lot of the adversaries like China have caught up, and they they're landing things on the moon now, and so is that gap really that large anymore? And I would say it probably isn't. And we should have ended this 5 minutes ago. And I might
tinfoil hats on.
Yeah, we put our tinfoil. How they fall back on?
We got a whole suit going on now.
I get a bungee cord attached to the tinfoil hat. It keeps coming back.
But I think it's interesting things to think about because I want to say the media, but the companies that like your CEOs from Microsoft, right? They're not going to be talking about how this is going to be used for bad. Everybody's always painting this is how we're going to use it for good. Yeah. But I think I've been yelling at this from the Atlassian perspective, right? Rovo knows everything. What happens when I sabotage documentation for my company so that now becomes part of the public domain of my AI LLM?
Knowing everything, yeah.
No. And how are you going to catch that? Like how are you going to know when you have erroneous data or bad data?
Yeah.
What happens when you start making billion-dollar decisions on some person whose stapler you're threatening to take away, and they're just feeding,
and then they burn down the factory. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to burn it all down. And again, this is why I'm like, my biggest concern was our over-reliance and over-comfort with the AI is going to make us so lazy and lack of critical thinking that these bad things will happen for the simple fact that we didn't question it because we trust the AI so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. And my mind is blowing. How many Easter eggs can we put into Confluence sites that will start affecting Rovo's results?
Yeah, right. Because your AI, especially the way Atlassian sells it, where it's like limited access to outside information, right? Because no company wants their AI data to be talking with others. Like you don't want Apple's AI to be talking to Microsoft's AI, right?
No.
And so this is not going to happen. Like this, the isolation of data, and I think this is Atlassian's toughest sell is how do you segregate this information? Because you can't.
And how do you prove to your customers that you are doing that?
Right.
That's the bigger problem because no one believes it. It's up in the Atlassian cloud.
Right. They just say trust us. We are
not being mixed with anybody else's. And the same goes for any other vendor.
Hence the browser. So once you buy the browser company, then any website becomes part of your data. So you're scraping every web page now that every user around the world, every employee around the world is looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not starting to believe your conspiracy theory anymore on the Google. I think this is Atlassian basically saying, I think who did it? I think it was a Facebook Google thing, right? Facebook's biggest problem is that they had no idea what you're Googling. They know every interaction you do on their platform within Facebook, but the moment you go to Google to search for something, the buck stops there. So it's interesting for Atlassian to say, hey, well, we know everything inside your Jira tickets, but now we can see everything you're looking up.
Yeah, if you're using their browser, which I can see them enforcing.
It's going to be very conveniently packaged.
Yeah, it's going to say, oh, you need to use our cloud. You have to use our browser.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to fly at a lot of corporations, though.
Atlassian is putting a lot of eggs in their Robo basket, and I don't think Atlassian has the same cloud. Like, because if we extrapolate this problem out to like OpenAI, this is scary stuff. Like, I think a lot of people are more open to OpenAI, but OpenAI is in bed with everybody at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Figure speech.
The majority of the AI tools out there are using it. Yeah.
Right. So,
not all, but a lot of them.
But that's a very dangerous place to be too, right? Because the same AI that models that are feeding JP Morgan Chase, are feeding Wells Fargo, are feeding Citibank, right? Like, there's a lot of collusion that's happening at such a deep level in data. And I've heard that Sam Altman is a data nerd. So he's just collecting everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to be cautiously aware of something, it'd be OpenAI.
Yeah.
Which is why, ironically, why Elon Musk created OpenAI was to make it open.
Yeah.
Have you heard of why how OpenAI got started with Elon?
No, go ahead.
So Musk is at a party up in Silicon Valley at one of these billionaires' houses, and
Okay.
this like world-renowned like AI researcher at the time is having a private meeting with like Sergey or some top executives at Google, and he watches them like go into a room to talk about basically what's Google's AI arm that they acquired.
Gemini?
No, that's the product that they made, but it used to be called something with a T before.
Yeah.
There was like a AI company that Google basically built for this that ultimately created Gemini, right? But there was this AI company, and like this kid was like at the forefront of it, and Elon sees that collusion happening, and he's like, "Oh no, this is not going to be good because Google's evil. Let's go create an open standard, an open way to monitor this, basically an open source version of AI," because he knew what Google was going to try to do, and so he created OpenAI, where he helped fund it, and then he got kicked out.
Okay.
So now he's got Grok.
Yeah.
And XAI, because he likes the word X or the letter X.
For some reason.
But anyways, we are really over the.
We are.
Just remember,
All right,
folks.
well, thanks, everybody.
Shift happens. Shift happens.
Oh, yeah, I'm wearing my JFrog shirt. Yeah.
And if you haven't already, tell your AI overlords to order a copy of the DevOps Overture for every person in your office. It'll make the excellent Christmas gift. Still time, link down in the description. We get these printed on demand, and we'll get them out to you as soon as possible.
Thanks, Alex. Bye, everyone.